Welcome back. I'm excited you're here. This is Lesson 3 of Module 1, titled Values. In Lesson 1, you learned how to craft a powerful mission statement. Lesson 2 was all about creating the vision for your organization. In this lesson, you will learn how to establish your organization's values, which are the foundation of any nonprofit organization. In fact, I believe this may be the most important lesson in the Academy. The reason is you will be using your values for the entire life of your organization. Your values are your guide to smooth sailing. And this lesson requires some team participation. If possible, include your key decision makers, board members, and officers in this lesson. There will be a lot of detail and instructions, so be sure to take plenty of notes. And of course, you can watch this lesson over again if you need to. Why are the organization's values so important? Your values are the heart and soul of your organization. The values are the words that describe the driving principles of your organization. And your values become your filters for all decisions made within your nonprofit. Your values are a tool to use when considering board members, officers, employees, vendors, volunteers, and donors. And your values must be in alignment with the purpose and mission of your organization. Values should be communicated in your organization's messaging to the world. And your values are important when dealing with people. Think about it. Why do most problems occur? Most problems occur due to a lack of alignment. In other words, everyone is not on the same page. So how do you get people in alignment? You have them come to agreement on your values. I'd like to tell you a brief story. Over the years, I've had to hire dozens of people. And after I learned and applied this lesson I'm about to show you, it literally improved the quality of the people I hired overnight. All I did was list my company's core values in the Help Wanted ads. The ads would say the core values, and then I'd say, if these words describe you, apply now. Well, the number of applications I received went down by 70%, but the people who did apply were so much better because they already related to my company's core values. So when you're describing your values, don't do it alone. The tendency is for new organizations, and particularly founders, to think they know their values without using a system to decide and agree. Your organization should determine values only after a discussion and agreement with your key decision makers. And remember, your nonprofit's values and those of the board and the officers must be in alignment. So values are a team effort, and we're going to take you through a lesson right now on how to determine your organization's core values. So the first thing that you need to do is schedule a meeting with all of the interested parties. Allow a minimum of at least 2 hours for this exercise. Each person in attendance is going to need a pen and some paper to write with, and ideally you should have a whiteboard or easel that you can keep a master list on. Assign a volunteer to write on that whiteboard. Got the instructions? Okay, let's keep going. First thing you're going to do is brainstorm. And the instructions are this. Begin the exercise by having each person in your group write the word or words that describe their best boss and their worst boss. Each person's going to work individually, and they're going to create just 2 columns of lists on their paper. The traits of their best and worst boss. And each person should have at least 7 or more words per list before you continue this exercise. This step here should take about 10 minutes, and make sure everybody's getting at least 7 or more words per list. The next step is to look at these words. So here's some words that we have as an example. The best boss, we have integrity, on time, empathetic, energetic, reliable, trustworthy, caring, honorable, fun, and accountable. Worst boss, greedy, self-centered, dishonest, late, finger pointer, backstabber, angry, screamer, negative. Wow, have you ever had a boss like that? Okay, here's what's going to happen. Have one person in your group write the two columns, best and worst, on your whiteboard or easel. These will be the words from each person's list. So you're going to write them all in one whiteboard, easel, or blackboard. You will probably have duplicate words, and that's okay. And once all of the words are written down on that whiteboard or easel, you're going to start with the list titled worst and change each word to a positive meaning. Now, it doesn't matter who wrote what words. You're just creating two master lists on one big board, the best descriptors and descriptions of the worst traits of that everyone had on their papers. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to convert these negative traits to positive traits. So liar, what would be the opposite or a positive trait opposite of liar? Well, honest. Greedy, that could be giving, could be generous, and you're going to do this as a group. So what could happen is, just like with greedy, you might get two different words, giving and generous. And so you're going to list all of those words. If they're words that you don't already have, list those out. That's why you're converting these negative traits. We want to make sure that we flush out any possible traits or words that could be values to represent the organization. Okay, late, well, on time, punctual. Angry, happy, could be easygoing. Backstabber, supportive. Self-centered, selfless, empathetic. Okay, so now you've converted all of these negative traits on that master list to positive traits. The next step is that you're going to have a master list. So imagine right now you're looking at the blackboard or whiteboard, and here's the list of words after we've written our positive words and we've converted our negative words to positive words. So we have a whole list of words here: caring, focused, integrity, fun, sexy, intelligent, creative, consistent, reserved, faith, open, respect. You get the idea, right? Now what's going to happen is each person in your group is going to make a list of 5 to 7 words that they feel best reflect the organization's values. So in looking at that master list, they're going to pick 5 to 7 words they feel best reflect the organization's values. Once everyone has chosen 5 to 7 words, each person is going to share with the group their selections. So you're going to give everyone a few minutes to look at that master list and have them work quietly and independently and have them write down 5 to 7 words they feel best reflect the organization's values. And once that's done, each person's going to share their 5 to 7 words, and then the person that's tracking this, your leader, is going to make a check next to each word that they have selected on that master list. So let's see what that looks like. So here's our words coming in again. This would be looking at the master list. There's some great words on here, by the way, potentially for your organization's values, and you'll probably come up with a lot of other good ones as well. So now we're going to ask the first person. In this case, we're going to have 3 people here, and we ask them to check the words that they feel best represent the values of the organization. And this person has checked off trust, happy, passion, caring, intelligent, and faith. Okay, now we would go to the next person in the group, and their selections are creative, integrity, passionate, trustworthy, faith, respect, and grateful. And now we're going to ask the third person in the group, what words did they pick? And this person picks caring, thankful, fun, passionate, faith, and joy. So now we've got our master list. We've got a bunch of check marks next to words. Some words have a couple of check marks, some have 1. And what we're going to do next is narrow down these choices. So if everyone in your group votes for exactly the same word, you now have one of your organization's core values. Notice I said exactly the same word. You will have words that have different words that have very similar meanings, and you may have words that are just slightly off. So if they're slightly off, we need to come to alignment and agreement about what those words are. So only if everyone votes for the exact same word do you have a core value. And what you're going to do is place a star next to that word, just like that. Now you may have different words that have similar meanings, and we're going to show you how to deal with those in just a minute. So let's go back to our master list, and we notice on our list that faith had 3 check marks. We have 3 people in our group, so that means that faith has been selected as one of our core values. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to repeat the process. So if you've agreed on a value, that becomes one of the core values. That starts off each person's list, and then they're going to create a new list, again looking at that same master list of words and keeping those consensus values, in other words, the ones that everyone had agreed on, and then their revised selection. So let's see what that looks like. And in this case, we've given the instructions of telling each person to select 6 values. So you can do this any way you want. You can have 6, you can have a higher number, you can have a lesser number, but 6, 5, 6, 7 is probably a pretty good number to do this. Now you'll notice that some of the word selections may have changed. Typically, people will stick with the words they've picked in the past. However, people may pick a different word. They kind of look at the list and say, well, I think, you know what, that word better represents. So the list can change, but you'll notice at the very top that word faith, which everyone had agreed to, has starting off the list because that has been decided to be one of the core values. So now let's discuss and reach a consensus on words that are similar, and remember, the goal is that key word, alignment. Back to our master list. Now for this example, I'm going to drop out the words. We're going to come back to them, so they're not going anywhere, but just so you can see this on the computer a little easier, I've identified 3 words that are similar: trust, integrity, and trustworthy. So the group is going to talk it out, just specific to these 3 words, and after they talk it out, they decide that integrity best represents another one of the organization's core values. So we would have now 2 core values, faith and the word integrity. Okay, we're going to go back to the list and we're going to look at some other similar words. So if we just look through this list, we see that passion, passionate, and passionate show up. Now the tendency here would be to say, okay, well, they're all pretty similar and 2 people have passionate, so the word should be passionate. But sometimes to fit in your values and as you talk it out, you'll find that it can change a little bit. And in this case, the group talks out, is passion or passionate more descriptive and better representative of our organization's core values, and the group decides that passion is the best word. So now we have faith, integrity, and passion on all 3 lists, and we're just narrowing down the choices. Okay, so let's look at another word, 3 words that were similar on everyone's list. We have happy, fun, and joy. Now the group talks it out, but they can't really decide which word best describes their core value. So what they're going to do is refer to the dictionary. So we're going to put some dictionary definitions in here so you can see these. Happy, delighted, pleased, or glad, contentment. Fun, mirth or amusement. Joy, the emotion of great delight, something valued or appreciated. So they've looked these up. Now they're going to discuss them based on these dictionary definitions. And what do you think happens? Well, the group, after discussion, decides that joy is now a core value as well. So we're really getting it narrowed down. We're talking it out. Here's our list of words that we have. And just to recap, faith was a universal choice when we first discussed it. The word integrity replaced those other 2 words, trust and trustworthy. Passion had replaced passionate, and joy replaced the other 2 choices, which were happy and fun. So we now have 4 core values. And what are we left with? Well, we're almost done. There's 4 words remaining, and we have sort of a consensus here. We have 2 folks that picked respect and 2 folks picked caring. Now, if you're narrowing your core values down to 5, we have 1 word left to choose, and in this case, the group could just talk it out, and after they do, they decide that caring best represents that 5th core value. If you really get stuck, you can talk out each word, and that's how you get to it. Now, if someone is adamant that a value should be added and it just didn't get many votes, have them sell that word to the group and talk about why they think that, hey, this is a word that really represents our organization and who we are, and revisit that word. Because again, what are you looking to get here? Consensus, which equals alignment. So confirm those core values. What you're going to do is review those selections one last time. Make sure that these words accurately describe your organization's core values. And if they have, guess what? Everyone will be in alignment, and you have just selected your organization's core values, which in this case, they decided on faith, integrity, passion, joy, and caring. So congratulations, that's celebrate a win. You've got your core values. The number of values can change. Some organizations have 3, some might have 7. Some will incorporate these in even their mission statement. It all depends on your organization and what you decide. And occasionally, these core values can change a little bit, although it's fairly rare. I've had business partnerships with people, and one of the amazing things was a friend of mine and I were doing this exercise, and separately, and just again what we call trusting the process, just doing the exercise. When it came time to disclose what we had, what were our narrowed down selections, we had 5 of 6. I mean, that's how close in alignment we already were. So it's amazing that that can happen if you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people. You may find that you get to these very easily. In other cases, you may find that there's a lot of debate over what are the words that really reflect your organization's core values. But the key is that you trust the process and do that exercise just as I described it. Remember, most conflicts come from a lack of alignment. So the way you avoid conflict is by applying your values. Use your values as your filters for making decisions. So if you're going to partner with another organization, if you're going to enter into a contract, if you're looking to hire someone as a manager or a consultant, use those values. Are they in alignment with your organization's values? If they are, you will probably have very few conflicts. If they're not, guess what? That relationship can go sideways. And that's the whole purpose of getting crystal clear about these values and committing them to paper and writing them down. Communicate your values as much as possible. So in your communications with the outside world and with your internal team, make sure that those values are out there. A lot of nonprofits and organizations and for-profit companies, they'll have their values right on the wall. Whole Foods has values right on their walls. You can see it when you walk in the store. So again, that communication of values is really, really important. Keeps everybody in alignment and tells the world who you are. And when faced with a really tough choice, consult your values. One of the interesting things about values is that they tend to make people self-filter. In other words, people know when they're not in alignment with the values of the company or with the organization or with the nonprofit. So for instance, we have our values here: faith, joy, integrity, passion, and caring. And somebody that isn't full of integrity, or they don't have a lot of caring, I mean, they'll self-filter. They will not stick around long because they realize everyone else is in alignment and they're not. So anytime you're having these decisions, tough choices that you have to make sure that whatever you're deciding is in alignment with whatever your organization's core values are. All right, so Module 1, Mission, Vision, Values. We went over crafting your mission statement, and by now you should have a powerful and just awesome mission statement. We talked about creating your organization's vision. What does it look like in the future? And we just covered an exercise on how to establish your organization's values. Make sure that you do this exercise. It is so important, and involve your team. You'll have a lot of fun with it, and it just is an amazing, amazing process. Okay, so now we have an assignment for you. We want you to write your organization's press release. And all you're going to do is write a press release just like you were going to put it out to the newspaper or the internet, I guess, nowadays, right? And put it on your blog and include, hey, here's a story about our organization. Include your mission, your vision, your values. Have fun and trust the process. You've learned so much in these first 3 lessons. I can't wait to go through the rest of the lessons with you. It's going to be quite amazing. And in the future, and future lessons, we're going to really start drilling down to the granular elements of getting your nonprofit off the ground and then ultimately approved by the IRS. So this has been laying the groundwork for this. Be sure that you attend our live webinars and get plenty of rest and eat your vegetables. If you have any questions, please send us an email, review@nonprofitadvisor.org. And we are so happy to be working with you to get your nonprofit started and IRS approved. So, you know the ritual. We're going to celebrate the win. Congratulations. You've now completed Module 1, and you're ready to move on to Module 2. So I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks for being here.